This massive guy was covered in fat, weighing over 1,000 pounds, but surprisingly, he moved with incredible strength and agility, like a gymnast. He does a 3.5 circle spin in mid-air before making a flying getaway. The police could only watch in frustration, and when they finally came to their senses and tried to shoot, the cop is unharmed because he's a dead man. His name was Nick. Just 3 days ago, he'd been an ordinary cop. During a routine operation, his partner Bobby tried to secretly keep some stolen gold for himself. When Nick refused to go along with it, Bobby ambushed him and sent him plummeting to his death. The next thing Nick knew, he opened his eyes to find the world frozen like a photograph. Before he could make sense of it, a massive vortex appeared in the sky and sucked him in. He was suddenly yanked into an office, face to face with a woman who introduced herself as the inspector of the Underworld Police Department. She explained that as a former cop, Nick had two choices: face judgment or become an undead police officer, hunting down spirits trying to dodge their final judgment. Working even after death? That seemed crazy. Nick wasn't having it until the inspector mentioned he could return to Boston and see his wife again. He changed his tune real quick after that. The inspector took Nick to the Boston division, where they witnessed a huge spirit causing chaos that several officers couldn't contain. That's when Nick meets his new partner, an old cowboy named Roy, dead since the 1800s, who's been doing this for 200 years. Roy led Nick into a bathroom, hit the flush switch on the toilet, and then appeared in a video store, back in the real world. Their first stop was Nick's funeral. When he saw his grieving wife, Nick couldn't help but run to her, but she didn't recognize him, and to add insult to injury, Bobby, his murderer, told him to get lost before walking away with Nick's wife. Confused, Nick asked Roy why no one knew who he was. Roy explained that underworld cops couldn't use their real identities among the living. To the living, Nick appeared as a middle-aged Chinese man, while Roy looked like an attractive woman. With personal business settled, Roy and Nick tackled their first case. Acting on a tip about a spirit hiding in an apartment building, Roy ordered takeout before they got to work. When they knocked on the door, the man who opened it had apparently just escaped from some prison. He denied everything during questioning, but Roy started eating the takeout right in front of him. The guy couldn't take his eyes off the food, started shaking, and finally revealed his true form. When Nick tried to cuff him, the spirit ripped off the refrigerator door and threw it at them. He grabbed a milk carton and made a break for it. Nick managed to handcuff them together, but the spirit didn't hesitate. He tore off his own hand, threw it at Nick, and escaped through the window, chugging down the gold hidden in the milk carton as he fled.